No, you're okay.
If Ashley's there.
If there, she
Sounds like.
should be.
I pushed promote to panels, then I'd not acknowledged it.
I'm not following. Is Ashley on Zoom now, this juncture?
So he's in Zoom, but he
Okay.
has to accept my invitation to join as a panelist to be heard,
I see.
and he's not responding to it.
He might not
He might
realize
be,
it's
yeah,
on
he
text.
might have logged in and now he's waiting.
Good evening. Notice of time, date, location, and agenda of this meeting to the extent known was provided at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting pursuant to the provision of the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice of all meetings in 2026 was provided as required publications on December 10th, 2025. Let's all rise to salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Liberty and justice for all.
The purpose of Millburn Special Improvement District is to promote, grow, and support local businesses, property owners, residents, and visitors, and to encourage the economic, cultural, and social vitality of the township through increased marketing, visibility, improved and renewed infrastructure, and local business development, and engagement. The Millburn SID is one of approximately 100 in the state of New Jersey and is one of the 29 designated Main Street, New Jersey communities. May I have a roll call, please?
Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg,
Here.
Christine Best. Omar Buckingham,
Present.
Ashley Schultz,
Here.
Ben Stoller,
Present.
Alex Zaltzman,
Yes.
Richard Wasserman. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Saccomundi, would you like to take the podium?
I think you guys can all hear me. So the township committee last year had looked at restructuring the SID. And we worked with Steve, we had a subcommittee and we looked at a few different things. One of the things we were looking at is doing a tiered assessment. So the idea behind that is the downtown districts would pay a little bit more, the outer districts would pay a little bit less. We also looked at potentially expanding the SID down Main Street, all the way down to where Springfield is, because there's some additional businesses along that stretch that I guess in the past had shown an interest in having SID services, but they weren't in the SID. So we're looking at expanding that, and that might bring in some more revenue, which could potentially offset the tiered structure. So the downtown businesses probably wouldn't feel much of an increase. So we held off on doing that because there was ongoing litigation. And at this point, we've come to the conclusion that there's always going to be ongoing litigation. And so we're not going to let that hold us back from doing what's right for the town and for the businesses in our town. So with Steve's departure, which we're all very sad about, we decided to take this as a good opportunity to take a look at the SID structure and make some changes. The SID has done great things for the past 5 years. And what we want to do is set it up for the next 5 years and the next generation. And so one of the things that we're looking into is whether it would make sense to have Steve's role actually be a township employee, because then they could get health benefits. I think one of the things we've discovered is if you want to attract high quality talent, you're going to need to have the ability to compensate people for that and provide benefits. And that was a deficiency right now with the fact that, Steve's role is a contractor role. So that sort of limits our ability. So the way some towns do this is they have directors of economic development, and in some cases, they're also the head of the SID or BID, depending, on the town or which it is. So our attorneys are going to be looking into these various aspects. But basically what we're asking as a township committee is hold off on hiring Steve's replacement for now, because a restructuring is coming in the very near future. Some other things that we talked about, I actually got this idea from Ms. Powell. We're, as a township committee, gonna be sending out a survey to all of the businesses in the SID, asking them what they'd like to see out of the SID, you know, for the next 5 years, right? We know what we've accomplished in the past 5 years, or what you guys have accomplished rather, and we want to get some direction from the businesses as to the type of things they'd like to see for the next 5 years. So we're gonna be putting together that survey soon, and we'll be sending that out. And in the meantime, you know, our lawyers are looking into the various mechanics that would be involved of having the director of economic development or having, you know, Steve's role report up to Alex, and also simultaneously run the SID, or if we have to change it to be a bid, then we'll do that. Some other things we're entertaining are making some modifications to the composition of the board. So right now, I know that we've had difficulty finding owners that are willing to come and step up and be on the board. And so what we're gonna do is, we had talked about last year, making one of the owner positions a flexible position, so it could be an owner or operator position. So that would add some flexibility. We might also look into whether it makes sense to add additional resident seats. So these are all things that we're considering as a TC. And so change is probably gonna be forthcoming, but I just wanted to let you guys all know. And I understand that there's probably gonna be some concern with Steve gone, who's gonna fill that void. I've been told that the events are already planned basically now at the end of the year. Is that correct?
They were in good shape.
Okay, and do we have, you know, the additional staff that is sticking around, and Steve, do you feel that they should be able to handle all of the events for the time being?
I do.
Okay. So in that case, you know, I think it really would behoove us as a township to get this right, do this right. So it might take a little bit of time. We're not gonna let it drag on for months and months and months, obviously, but it is gonna take a little bit of time. And I think the end result is gonna be a stronger SID that has the ability to attract tier talent for the leadership role, which is what I think we need. If we had done this last year, maybe Steve wouldn't be leaving. But you know, in hindsight, everything's going fine. Do you guys have any questions for me about any of this?
What the timeline, you think is gonna be like September, November kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I would say, we certainly would wanna have this all in place by September, but I think we're gonna try and move a little bit quicker than that. Yeah, I imagine it'll take about a month or so to figure out what the structure is gonna look like and what the mechanics are involved in that, and then, you know, there'll be a talent search, and there'll be, you know, what we'll do is we would rescind the existing SID and we replace it with a new ordinance. There's precedent for doing that. And so, you know, that takes two meetings to take effect, so.
We have like all this money from like sponsors and Main Street. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that whole thing.
Yeah, so we wanna make sure that we maintain the Main Street, New Jersey designation, so that's one of the things the lawyers are really looking into.
Got it.
So another discussion that we had was regarding legal fees for the SID. So up until now, the township has been covering the SID's legal fees for the Bear Properties litigation, and I think that's the only litigation. We're gonna cover the most recent bill going forward. Since the township is defending the case, we feel that it's unnecessary to have, you know, our township attorney and the SID attorney working on the same case. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue to use the township attorney to handle that matter. If you guys wanna have your attorney intervene, that's gonna be on you guys. We're not gonna be, after this most recent bill we got, we're not gonna be funding that any further. That's the consensus that we had come to, so.
We'll be protected, in other words, for,
Yes.
the town's gonna like,
Yes, we're not gonna throw you guys to the
Yeah,
wolves,
like-
we're not gonna let you get, you know, litigated to
Yeah.
death. But it's unnecessary to have
yeah,
multiple attorneys filing very similar.
look at someone's paying lawyers.
Right.
It's only a matter at the end of the day.
Some other things that we're looking at doing, and I had this conversation with Steve, and Jackie, I think you might have been there for some of it. We're also looking at removing some of the it's what I would call the grunt work from the role that Steve was taking care of. So for instance, the SID was contracting to do cleanup of downtown, pick up trash, right? We have a DPW that can do that. I think at a time, there was a value add of having the SID do it, because maybe the town was shorthanded, but we're in a different position now. And our VA feels that our DPW should be able to take on some of that responsibility. Now there might be some sort of chargeback arrangement, we have to look into how that works. But it probably makes more sense if we already have a DPW that's going and watering plants, for instance, and cleaning up the streets, why do we have to have a redundancy there? And that would, make it easier on the SID personnel, so that they don't need to manage these additional vendors and the headaches that come along with that. The other thing we're looking at doing, we're gonna have a new arts committee that will oversee sort of all of art in the town, and they will be helping to oversee this art project RFP. So there'll be more on that in the coming weeks as that committee comes together. But in my conversations with Steve, he seemed to think it was fine if we take art off of your guys' plate, as long as you guys have input on the new committee and you would have a seat on the new committee that would handle the art. So that's the stuff that we have in the hopper right now that I wanted to make you guys aware of. And I'm open to any questions or comments if you have any.
Yes, go ahead,
You
and then I
go
have
first.
some other,
No, you go first.
I have some remarks that I'll say.
I just have a question actually for you guys, for Michelle. Like, upon Steve's departure, you look at the events coming up and the amount of physical heavy lifting work. Like, do you feel like you'll need, because you're all hands on deck a lot of times, do you feel like you'll have enough personnel to manage these events in the interim before a person comes in to manage? Or do you need like us to get on deck if we can't have a person come in, the staff to support you? I just wanna make sure that the events go on, successfully.
Yeah, if you wanna come and volunteer at any of our events, we'd love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to come, I just had surgery, but I'm gonna try to come.
I just had
So,
surgery too, I had a knee replacement.
Oh, wow. So, we'll be there with our speakers.
No, I think that we're in pretty good shape. We've
Okay.
put together, a bit of a, team and through
Volunteers,
different
so-
organizations and things like that, but we would welcome, any volunteers from the committee and the board that would like to participate for Girls' Night Out, World Cup, and anything moving forward.
I'll be around. I'll try to come for Girls' Night.
As the board chair, I have a few remarks, Mr. Secretary, so you'll indulge me for a minute.
Sure.
Thank you for coming and providing an update on the Township Committee's plans regarding the restructure or the potential restructuring of the SID. We remain hopeful that this will be a collaboration with the Township Committee and that our data and our recommendations that support a shared goal will be met. Given the uncertainty of the organization's future and the formal resignation of both Mr. Grillo and Ms. Mahoney that are in our board packet, I believe you are aware of both of those pending resignation or confirmed resignations. Ms. Mahoney's term is going to end on July 24th, and the uncertainty of a full-time replacement, as noted, given the potential uncertainty with the direction of this Explorer entity.
Sorry, just to clarify, Ms. Mahoney, what role did she do?
Ms. Mahoney has resigned, and she will, her last day with Explorer will be July 24th.
And what was her role?
Associate Director.
Associate
Mark.
Director.
Director of Marketing.
Director of Marketing.
And she just announced, when did she announce?
So that means who will we have left with the staff?
Just hear me out a minute, okay? Thank you. While the Township Committee does not have the authority to make personnel decisions per se, we welcome your collaboration. The BID is an independent board, and all personnel decisions are the sole responsibility of this board of directors. That being said, I would like to request this board that Michelle Lemieux take the role of interim director in the absence of Mr. Grillo and Ms. Mahoney. Ms. Lemieux has been with us for 9 months. She was the former marketing director for the chamber. Executive director, sorry, I got my marketing and my executive twisted. She's local, she lives in Livingston, gratefully, and given the potential changes, I would like to take the month of June rather, to review a compensation package and an hour and a job description that suits the needs of this board, as well as in line with the township's needs moving forward. So I think the roll call, the acceptance of the resignation, and then I believe I'll defer to you, Mr. Slattery. I'd like to have a roll call vote to move forward with the discussion of Ms. Lemieux as our interim director after Ms. Mahoney's departure, so that would be effective. Well, we're gonna have to discuss it first to see, and then
No
come back to
action.
the board. No action will be taken,
That's
but I
what I was gonna say, is I would actually recommend in that instance, if we're gonna do a personnel discussion to moving to closed, you can do anything that has to be done in closed there, come back, do anything that has to be in open there. And if there's formal action, that's up to you, but otherwise we can save formal action for a later date.
Well, I would suggest that we save formal action for a later date because we don't have enough facts at this juncture to make the business decision with respect to any of those moving parts.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I generally advise that if it's a personnel issue, you start and close so that you can sort of have the attorney step into the things that are necessary to be enclosed, and then after that, you can have a discussion about whatever you want.
Yeah, we can't just make a decision.
No,
Right, and I don't think that's what she intends. I think she's talking
No,
about.
I just would appreciate the authority to move forward in that direction, that's all. And come back to you with some data points
Yeah.
and some understanding for the June 24th. So I wanted to bring that up to our board with their permission to move forward with that possibility.
Just want to clarify, like, the timeline and the availability of people to work on this organization's stuff we have going on. So Marina's here until the 24th. July 24th.
2 months.
So we have 2 people until the 24th, and then we would have 1 person after the 24th, and then whatever happens. So I just wanted to be clear about, like, who, only 1 person.
Well, no, the idea
Right.
would be 1 person and to add some support staff
Yeah.
to,
In addition to her.
absolutely.
Got it. Yeah, that's what I was
We're
trying to
going
figure
from 3 to 1,
That's
so.
what I'm trying to figure out, like,
Yeah.
what's the
Oh,
staffing
no,
look like?
no, that would be, as we gear up for a fall planning schedule,
Got it.
which usually happens sort of mid-July, when we're looking ahead, from September to December, and
Yeah.
I know some, planning has already been underway, but I think, excuse me, could we, I know some planning has been underway, but I would wanna just make sure we have the resources to be successful.
And I think to the mayor's point, we're a little bit in limbo in that we don't have a job to offer someone to replace me because there would be a
Correct.
significant distinction between a contractor role and the economic development director role. That can be sorted out at the TC level, that's their role. And then it would be our job, in theory, unless it's a township employee. So my point is, there's a lot of moving pieces before someone can actually replace me full-time. And so our focus should be on that staffing in June, July, and August. And I think, I can speak for the 3 of us, the succession planning has gone very well. I feel very comfortable that our summer events are gonna be fine. Our fall events, I think we're gonna be in a good position to execute those as well. But the next step really should be giving Michelle potentially the opportunity to bring on some support staff. And then hopefully come August, September, October, the township committee will give us some clarity on what my current role will actually look like.
And that's what I believe we intend to do.
That's exactly
So,
what
Yeah,
we
that
intend
makes
to
sense.
do. Yeah. Were there any other questions or comments for me? None, I will sit down. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming. Okay, may I have a,
So, we never actually took action on your request. Do you want consensus to speak with Michelle and put together a job description? Do we need to take a formal voice vote?
I think that was
So-
private.
yeah,
session
so I
without
think-
Michelle in it.
Yeah,
How do we wanna handle it tonight?
So I guess the question is, what are we looking at for an outcome of that discussion? Cause it's not on the agenda and I hadn't heard of it before, so I just wanna be cautious before I let you
Yeah.
guys go nuts. If we're just talking about what the, what holes need to be filled over the next few months, that could probably happen without any action tonight, that could happen, just through informal discussions over the next several weeks. And then if there's necessary action, whether it's for a new contract or just a new role or just to make it clear to the public, we can do that at the next meeting. So that wouldn't really require us to do anything here. If we're talking about how are we going to, how do we wanna go about creating a job description or something to that effect, that's probably enclosed where we talk about, the old role versus what we need done for the next several months, and then we come up with a document that we approve at the next meeting. So I would defer to you on what the actual substance of this discussion is gonna look like before I recommend which way to go on that.
I would anticipate, me personally would anticipate the latter and then perhaps an amendment to her existing contract that would expand the roles and responsibilities, and we'll look at all the other ancillary items that would support that and then go from there. So I don't anticipate, this would not be a full-time consulting 40 hours a week.
I think this,
uh,
I just wanna
think-
make a comment.
I think we
please.
should be very careful
It's
what we
not
say.
appropriate for
Yeah,
this
I
discussion.
I feel like all of
I
these
think-
discussions should be
can I make a comment?
separate.
I think this needs to be a closed session, this is like about hiring, staffing.
Yeah.
It's totally not appropriate in this forum in front of the person you're speaking of, I think it needs to go to closed session, I suggest tonight. Personally, because you have to start thinking about what your go forward strategy is in terms of what the TC has suggested and, get on it. And have an interim strategy, so I suggest going to closed session, just like I mean.
And we can do closed session at the end of the meeting, just
Correct.
to keep the flow of the
Yeah,
meeting
yeah.
going, but
And I would suggest doing so because it'll give us a sense of how late that discussion is going to be productive versus having someone put a document together over the next several weeks and presenting it at the next meeting.
That's fine.
so
It'll
I will
expedite-
remind us later to go into closed session.
Yes, it'll expedite our timetable,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay. Okay, so we're all clear on that.
Approval of minutes.
March 26, 2026, the public session minutes and attachment 1.
That's April.
Sorry, April, my apologies. Attachment 1, may I have a roll call vote, please?
We need a motion first, don't we?
May I have a motion to approve the April 2026 minutes? Motion. Alex Saltzman, second. Now at this point, a roll call.
Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg,
Yeah.
Ashley Schultz,
Yes.
Solar,
Yes.
Alex Saltzman,
Yes.
and Richard Wasserman is not here.
I'm not voting, but I'd like to make a statement for the record, may I do that?
Ask the chair.
May I do that, make a statement on the record for the minutes, I don't think I'm wrong, but.
I'll be back.
Sure. So I just, I'm not gonna get into the discussion about the email database, but I do wanna say that the recap on that was very sublime and didn't really bring up a lot of the concerns that I had. Still, I don't agree with that recap. And that's it. I'm not voting on it, so GP.
Okay, we have Mr. Grillo as executive director. His letter of resignation. Last day of service will be tomorrow, May 29th, 2026, that's attachment 2. think for the record, I should have a voice vote of that.
You can ask for a motion to accept with regrets the resignation of Steve Grillo as executive director.
May I have a motion to accept the resignation of Mr. Grillo as executive director with a final date of May 29, 2026.
Begrudgingly motion?
Second, roll call.
Jackie.
Voice
Benjamin.
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well,
Thank you.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah.
yes.
And just for the record, Ms. Mahoney submitted her resignation after the initial packet was posted. So, if anyone's looking for it, the letter is in the packets that are on the front table here. And of course, all the board members have it, but members of the public.
Thank you.
May I have a acceptance of the resignation of Corinne Mahoney as Director of Marketing and Events with a final work date of July 24th, 2026, with attachment 3 in your packet. All those, may I have a motion?
Another begrudgingly motion.
Yeah.
To Mr.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye. I think that was.
What was that?
That was
That was
easy.
the
That's
yes.
Ashley on this.
From the airport.
Yeah.
Um,
Mr. Grillo, you can proceed with the financial report.
All right, I calculated, I think this is my 55th board meeting, and my last report. So, from the financial perspective, you guys would have attachment 4 in the packets. And that details our expenses through the end of April, So we had 194,622 in the bank. We collected additional sponsorship funds as well as a third installment of our assessment collection in the amount of $87,063. So we have a bank balance today of $264,738. So we're in terrific shape. And we've actually collected 96% of the assessment thus far. So we are right on track in years prior. And other than that, there's no concerns. And then the sponsorship report. So we have invoiced for $34,160 in sponsorships, with an additional $57.50 in-kind donations. That is basically at our targeted amount for the year, which was $35,000 in the budget. We've collected $23,660 and we have $10,500 owed. Some of that is for events towards the end of the year, so we don't collect it immediately. We do have $8,000 that is overdue from 3 sponsors. The events have not happened yet, but it's been over 60 days. So Corinne and Michelle are following up those folks to get the checks in, but no one has received any services that they have not paid for at this point. So we're in good shape there. And that's my financial report. And then we have resolutions to read. Okay. Resolution 26004, it's attachment 6 in your packets. This is a procedural resolution. It removes me effective May 29th, tomorrow, from the bank account as an authorized signer and replaces me with Corinne and Michelle. This is for our bank account at M&T Bank in downtown. I won't read the entire resolution for the record, but I do want to point out that all of our existing policies and requirements governing bank account authorizations will remain in place. That includes the requirement of 2 signatures for expenditures over $500, as well as the prohibition against 2 staff members signing the same check. So if Corinne and or Michelle sign a check, either Jackie or Richard have to be the other signer. That's been the process since day one. So no change other than switching up the signers, and then we'll submit this resolution to the bank as well for the record. So unless there's any questions, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second. Roll call vote, please.
Everybody?
Everybody that's here. Well, Alex Olson's gone, so
Okay.
just the 3 of them.
Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg,
Here, yes.
Ashley Schultz,
Yes.
Jen Stoller.
Affirmative.
We have a couple of these tonight. So the next is attachments 7 in your packets. This is resolution 26-005. There's gonna be some follow-up action to this, but I just wanna talk about it for a moment. So, due to my departure, as you may or may not know, the township provides 50% of my salary per the establishing ordinance. They pay it in one lump sum in January. So we've received that amount. The town has asked for us to return the unused prorated balance for June onwards. It's in the amount of $33,342.16. We have no objection to providing that. There is a technical question that Mr. Slattery is going to work with the township attorney on, is that the ordinance is silent as to whether the interim director would be paid through that fund or not. Obviously, it's in the interest of the bid to have the interim director paid out of that fund and not out of our own funds. So what my recommendation tonight is to approve this resolution with the notice that Mr. Slattery will speak with the municipal attorney and try to figure out the best way to proceed.
Right, motion.
Second,
Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg,
yes.
Ashley Schultz,
Yes.
Jen Stoller.
Affirmative.
And we do have a letter in that attachment from the CFO, Matt Larison, stipulating as to the request. And then that's it until a little bit later for me.
Mr. Stoller, Township Committee reports, no reports are scheduled. Is there anything you want to add?
Now defer to the mayor and his opening remarks. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Buckingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Only thing to share is that angle parking is still being tested on Millburn Avenue. Mr. McDonald has said that in about the next week or two, and on the exact date, township's going to switch to reverse angle parking. And so that'll be another temporary setup. The township wants to see how that works for the community. If it doesn't work, how it compares against angle parking. And we're just going through a series of tests to see what works with flow traffic for the community. And so not to be surprised if the parking changes very soon.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
I have a question, Madam Chair.
Mm-hmm.
How many responses have you gotten approximately on email so far, just on the ankle parking?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can get that for you.
And I was just curious, like as opposed to, there was a lot of comments that were going up on Happy Millburn. And I think that like the comments had stopped, so I didn't know if you were getting is more comments on Happy Millburn or more comments to the email database, just to make sure that we have a lot of feedback on it.
Yeah, I don't know the Happy Millburn comments or comments that we're tracking. The ones that come in officially through email are the ones that we're looking at.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Before we get to the next item, I think it might be wise to move this to executive session as well, given what the mayor mentioned about the litigation costs. I think we have to have more of a discussion, so I would, unless Mr. Slattery has non-contractual items to discuss, I think we should move the contractual item to close session.
Sounds good.
Do you have anything else?
No, the motions to dismiss by the township and by Explore are now briefed. There'll be an update probably next month about whether there was oral argument and whether there was.
What date is that expected?
I don't have a date for that to actually happen yet. They have some holding dates basically, but nothing that I would say is fair.
We have goodies. I can separate it.
Oh, wait, before you start, Steve, let me just interject. I will be unavailable next month on the 25th of June. I already have coverage for the meeting, so you'll be in good hands with my firm, but I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware beforehand that I'm gonna miss that one.
So will I.
You have my Brazil tickets or is that here?
Yeah, I forgot them at the office. I'll go. Because they're just under a piece of paper somewhere.
Alright, moving on to the next thing.
All right, so for a little Girls Night Out update, it is next Thursday, June 4th. This is a swag bag. They just came in today. And we have a lot of fun goodies that are going out. We have over 80 businesses participating, which I think might be one of the most yet, which is incredible. So we've had a lot of engagement. We've been posting kind of everywhere on Facebook, on Tap Into, iHeartRadio station is doing some promos for us. We have a lot, there's a banner in town. We have all of our A-frames up, posters, so lots of promotion. And we're expecting a good amount of people, a lot of coverage. So we're super excited for the event. And we've been doing just a ton of planning. So we brought some fun stuff that, so it's 90s music themed. So these are record posters. So we have some for you guys. So yeah, and we would love if any of you guys are available to volunteer. It's next Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. in the downtown. The goal is really to get the people, we find that there's not, and I've touched on this in the past, but there's not that much foot traffic in other parts of the downtown. So we really centralize it to Millburn Ave and a little section of Main Street and bring the outside businesses there. So we're very excited. We hope to see you all there.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
And can you just name the main sponsors, just so let me know how I was talking about sponsors?
Yes, so right here on the bag, from Compass, the main sponsors are Karen Vigos and Zhaojing. So we're
Thank
super
you to
excited.
Compass.
Yes, thank you, Compass. We're super excited. They've been very hands-on helping promote, so they're gonna have a table at the event, which is great. And then we've also had coverage in what was it, NJ Family.
Yeah, NJ Family, we had coverage in Vicinity Media Magazines, Suburban Essex, Millburn-Short Hills Magazine, we had a whole feature last month.
For the event. So we're also expanding our marketing efforts, just some different platforms. And we anticipate it'll be.
Yeah, listen to the radio, you'll probably hear some plugs over the next couple days on Light FM, Z100,
Oh, wow.
ATU.
Do you guys, where is going to be the core focus? Like where, are you switching it around this year? Or like where are you gonna have the main part of
Yes,
the event?
so we
Can you
found.
just describe that for us?
So we found in past years, I think I might have mentioned this at
Yeah.
some previous
Yeah, you
meetings,
did.
but sometimes, you want them to go to the downtown, but people will congregate in one area and they don't go anywhere else.
Mhm.
So we're like, okay, let's try and think about that, and we're bringing everyone to that one area basically, because, people aren't gonna go try other stores, so let's bring those businesses in. So we're really trying to do, Millburn Ave, kind of down, between, Town Hall Plaza and then Lackawanna. So it's like a 2-block stretch.
Okay.
From like Dunkin' to like Unwind Boutique. And then any businesses who aren't a storefront is invited to come and table. So we have a bunch of pop-up tables, there'll be stuff on the sidewalks for people. And then kind of a little part of Main Street, kind of like where the Standard is, that section, those two. And then by the clock tower a little bit. So kind of walking around the downtown, exploring. So getting an introduction.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, we're excited.
And you guys need help with stuff like that?
We're good. Our committee,
Yeah, our
we're good with
committee
stuffing
has some
bags, but
volunteers.
if any of you guys are available on the day of the event, we would gladly take any help. So, yeah, we
I'll
have,
get your number. before I
yeah,
start.
perfect. We have some good plans,
I'm sure I can
but
figure out a way to help.
yeah, we would appreciate, you guys.
World Cup, we have 2 events. June 20th is our Skills Day, and July 19th is our final viewing party. Skills Day is where we're inviting families to come and experience the whole feel of soccer. We have a whole bunch of merch that you can see that we've been working on. We're kind of ahead of the game, I would like to say, with compared to some of the other towns that are doing their own things that aren't in the larger areas where they're like a Jersey City or something like that. So we're partnering with the Millburn Soccer Club, CSO Goalkeeper, and Game Changer Fitness, JAG. IDB Bank is our signature sponsor for World Cup. We've had articles in New Jersey Family. We have Montclair Local, who wants to cover both events for us. And in this month's Millburn-Short Hills Magazine, we have a full spread about everything that we're doing. We also partnered with Seattle Jeans. They have, I don't know if you're familiar with George Way. Am I saying that right? Way?
Correct.
Right? He
was awarded the Balloon d'Or, if I'm saying that correctly, which means you're the best seasoned player in soccer, and he's
In the
also
world.
in the world, I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
excuse me, and he's also now the Liberian president. And the owner of Ciata Jeans, Ciata herself, she knows him, she called in a couple favors for us. And she's donating signed memorabilia from him for us to give away as part of our efforts. We have so much going on for Skills Day. We're putting a lot together for the final viewing party for vendors to come in. We've got bands, we've got DJs. I think it's going to be two great events that are very family friendly and really bring the community together.
What day is the final viewing party?
That's July 19th,
July
Sunday, yeah.
Okay, good.
So we have a restaurant guy that we partnered with Main Street Pops, which is a consulting agency, which you've probably heard of at other meetings that we're working with, and they're helping us curate that, as well as working with the businesses to come and vendor at the events, as well as do their own promotions. We're also doing mailboxes, if you guys remember from our Christmas promotion. This was very popular. We're doing it also for Girls Night Out. We have 3 mailboxes that'll be around town, one by Duncan, one by Gongcha, and one by the Clock Tower. This will be there for Girls Night Out. It'll also be there for World Cup. Girls Night Out will be June 1st through the 10th, any purchases, and we're still working on the date for World Cup for that as well. But Vicki everybody from our committee has already started handing these out. We went door to door. We had other people go door to door and start handing these out to businesses so that we can, really get the momentum going.
Are there any other towns that are going to offer as great an event as you're doing in July, like with the screening thing? Because it does sound really, really exciting, and I was curious, like if Summit's not having an event on that night, like can you try to like advertise directly to some of the sports teams with older adolescents and get their parents and stuff, so you can try to drive traffic from Summit clientele, like if they're not having an event.
I think they are, I think Westfield is too.
They're having an event that night.
We are exploring different avenues.
We did a press release that went out on May 12th. That's already been picked up. We're working with News 12 on some things that they might come and cover. I think we're a little far out. I used to do PR, so from a PR standpoint, I think we're a little far out from the day of the event to kind of, if you look it up, you'll see, like if you Google World Cup Millburn, you'll see everything come up that we're doing. But
I was just thinking direct contact with the head of the sports team, not this, just adding that as a contact way versus.
Are you asking specific to the final?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just saying, like, have you thought about, I'm literally just throwing out an idea.
It's a good idea.
Because it's free, it doesn't cost you money.
I know a
I
lot
was
of
just suggesting
towns
it. I don't
are
know.
showing
Yeah,
no, it might
other
be
games.
clueless.
I don't know how many are showing the final like
Yeah, that's
us.
what
Like I
think's
know
really
Union
cool.
is showing 2 games, but not the final.
Yeah,
So I think we
Livingston.
can figure that out, is who's not showing the final, and then reach out to those
yeah, cause
folks.
it was just like free advertising and I,
No, that's
thought
smart,
like,
yeah.
that's all. I mean, I know.
I wanna
like,
make sure I
I
understand.
live in Livingston, and just yesterday put something out for the June 12th or Friday night or USA game.
Yeah.
So we
USA
just-
versus
Yeah, and we
Paraguay.
just found that out.
And
so.
obviously, let's just make it, let's local, shop local, come
Yeah.
local, so.
Of
Yes.
course,
Yeah, that's,
this will help with.
Yeah,
all
that's
that.
part of
Right.
what we had put out there, was the shopping local with the receipts, with the restaurant and, shopping guide, because we have a whole bunch of specials that, different stores and restaurants are doing, like, Guacamole is doing something related specific
The worst
to.
thing that can happen is locals don't have room at the place, right?
Right.
So this is local dollars, our tax
Good
dollars going to
partners,
work for benefit of our town, not
Yeah.
Summit or Westville.
Yeah, and that was the premise. I know we've talked about this a lot, but it's pending now, right? Which is the shopping component with the envelopes and the mailboxes, as well as the overall restaurant promos. That gives us a sustained activity versus those 2 one-day events. So we thought 2 one-day events, try to drive a ton of traffic, and then have that sustained momentum as well. So I think we'll probably never have to do this again, because the next World Cup in the United States probably won't be for a very long time, but I think we've tackled this the right way, in terms of creating both big events as well as these ongoing events.
We also had I forgot the prizes that we had in the car. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you forgot?
Did I forget them?
I think you did.
I might have, I'm so sorry. I have a picture of it. we have like trophies and things like stuffed animals, things like that, all that are FIFA branded. But I think I don't know if you guys had heard about it, but one of the big coups that we got was the chief events officer of FIFA for New York, New Jersey. We did an exclusive interview with her about how that could help shopping local and how that could help retail businesses and what that could actually do for your community and ways to engage. And I met with her personally at an event, and you know, she was like, you guys are right on the ball, like everything that you're doing, not to like,
Yeah.
not like to blow our own horn or anything. She was like, but you've kind of got your finger on the pulse here. So, and you know, we had put that together to share, and we shared with all the businesses, so that they could see what they were getting, you know, that, you know, these are the things that they could also be doing, and that, how they could monetize from, you know, this kind of once in a lifetime experience. And, you know, she's a hard get. So it was a really exciting thing for us to be able to showcase.
And that's on our website as well, but we'll re-release it, via
As it
email,
gets
social media,
closer.
Public art master plan. I don't-
Yeah, let me,
Yeah, do you have a-
so that's just gonna be a brief update. I think, you know, the mayor covered it. Whatever this arts committee, so let me step back a second. Christine and Jackie and I met 6 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
With the mayor and Committeeman Ceruto, we talked about their concern that the bid was probably more involved in public art than they wanted, and they wanted more groups involved. We didn't really come away with a decision, more of, there's gonna be this arts committee, let's see what that looks like, because we do have a $7,500 grant. We've stopped our process, in the RFP and the consultant selection, but I think whatever this arts committee ends up looking like, we should have that discussion to say, hey, we've got $7,500 sitting there. But that money is mandated to the bid area. So if the town wants to leverage that fund is gonna have to be for the bid. So I don't know how that's gonna work, obviously, but I hope the mayor you know, continues to engage with us about that project. But at this point, it's on hold, awaiting a decision.
And I mean, just sitting in that meeting, I think one of the core points that you and Jackie both brought up, you know, and I think Frank stands out is that, you know, there's a time window on it. So basically, like, the point is, like, the plan that you guys executed was to go through September. So it really needs to be decided upon before the end of the summer to execute on, you know. So just something to keep in mind and continue to, you know, as they, you know, map out the arts committee.
Agreed, yeah, I think time is of the essence.
Holiday decor ad hoc committee status.
So right now, you know, just talking casually, just wants to Jamie, just getting an update. They're just working on a lot of things with the parking right now and safety, and I think that that's going to probably come back up, and maybe we should follow up with Jamie on that. I did want to let you guys know, I reached out to Mr. GM, I always say his name wrong, he runs the part of the DPW.
Mike Giambattista.
Yeah, Giambattista. Anyhow, I love him and his brother, favorite people in town, I have to say. And he actually found the holiday light vendor, and I just have to like dig it out of my text messages, and he sent it to me. It appears to have the same lights that actually are in existence in inventory. They're not cheap. I think they run somewhere around between $400 and $500, I think, quick. I haven't called them yet. So just as an update, and I actually need to send that out this week. So, and then I think we just need to, you know, try to all regroup, Vicky, Michelle, Allison, and Dave, et cetera. And that's it. That's all I did have.
Thank you. I'll jump right to my reports, very brief this evening. New business, closed business is a standing report for us. Since our last meeting, Plume Studio, which is a hairstylist on Lackawanna Place, closed. But they are actually being replaced already by another studio called Autumn Moon Studio. I've onboarded that individual, and they should be up and running fairly quickly. And participating girls are not terrific.
Coming and
Oh,
table
that's
in the
great.
event, so.
Is that also another hair salon?
Yes, just one for one switch. We're also expecting that Aroma's home, which is at the former Design Hub, they've been making a ton of progress with construction. They should be open mid-June. And then also there's going to be a ribbon cutting on Wednesday, June 10th at 3:30. It's in your agenda here as a note. The Bookhouse new location, they've been doing really well, especially with the warm weather they've had. I've been through there a couple of times. It was a good move for them to go from Essex Street to Millburn Ave. So they've invited us to participate in the ribbon cutting. I know that Committeeman Ceruto and Mayor Saccomandi have confirmed. Michelle is handling our SVPs, so if anybody from the board wants to attend, please let Michelle know. And then as usual, we'll make remarks, and I think we have to bring our scissors and,
Yeah.
they don't have the scissors.
I sent a
It's
invite
special
again
silks.
today, just so you all have.
I put in RSVP, I can come.
Terrific.
Put it on the calendar.
Then in terms of streetscape, we are pretty much finished for the season. So all of our plantings were completed earlier this month. We have 32 planters, mainly in downtown and Upper Millburn Avenue. We also completed mulching 71 tree pits, in 3 of the 5 districts. We also updated the stone work that is on Morris Turnpike. We added larger stones. Hopefully they won't move quite as much. That was completed last week. We also power washed portions of downtown on May 18th. That included the 4 corners of Millburn and Main and Essex and Main. That's the granite complete streets that is sort of beat up. We also power washed the bridge that crosses over the Rahway River near the Millburn Deli. It had been in pretty bad shape. We're in our 3rd week of sidewalk maintenance and meeting with our vendor. And then we completed touch-ups on the Millburn postcard mural at Haagen-Dazs. We typically do that twice a year. So that was completed this spring session. So we do that stuff every year, and we're finished for the year at this point. Well, I think they finished for the season, and then the fall will repeat some of those items. And then just unless there's any questions, I'll go on to the Main Street report. Okay. So we did receive our Main Street America accreditation. It only took us a year, which is as quickly as you can do it. There's a scoring program that Main Street America has. They come and met with us, I guess that was when? February. Reviewed the scoring, the self-assessment, scored us versus that. We scored high enough that now we are accredited. 26 of the 29 main streets in the state are now accredited. And so terrific for the state, they're very happy. And then there's 2 items that I'm gonna pass off to Mr. McDonald. The first is Main Street America typically conducts once every 3 years or so a community survey based on needs. It's very, very specific as to what it asks. I spoke to the mayor and I suggested maybe there would be a conflict or confusion if we sent out that survey or the town sent it out. And then there's the long-term master planning survey that's going on, and then this SID survey. So I told Mr. McDonald, why don't you wait for all that to be finished, and then we can release the Main Street at some point in Q4 or Q1 next year. And then also Main Street has offered to come and do a free walkability survey. And so they have an office that just focuses on pedestrian accessibility and circulation. It's a totally free report that they produce for us. You just have to get on their schedule because they come from Texas to do it. And so he's gonna work on that as well when time allows. So those 2 items are gonna be more in the town's dominion than the bids at this point.
Bless you.
Hi, Stephen. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you very much. It's pretty robust as we conclude the month. We're at the point in our meeting for public comment. The public is invited to provide comments. Clearly state your name for the record and limit comments to 3 minutes. Prepared statements may be sent to steve@exploremillburnshorthills.org. I guess you'll,
Not anymore, we gotta change that.
yeah, I was just gonna say, you'll be monitoring it or we'll send it to,
Info at Explore.
okay.
I refuse to give her name in the email, very minute.
This is a business meeting and professional decorum must be maintained. At the conclusion of public comment, members of the board may respond or ask questions to the staff or the attorney. Staff and attorney will not answer questions without a request from board members.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Feld. I'm a resident, and I'm plaintiff's pro se attorney in Bear 1, Bear 2, and Bear 3. Steve, good luck. But our paths will be crossing in the future, I can assure you that. I don't know how to respond. I am shocked what was said at the beginning of this meeting. On September 1st, 2020, I stood up at the township committee meeting and I told them we need an economic director plan. When Steve came his first meeting, I think in June, I said, he's in the wrong place. He should be in City Hall. It only took, what, 5, 6 years? You're gonna go and close executive session. I wasn't at the last meeting because it conflicted with the budget committee. If you read the minutes, and I watched the meeting, you make it sound, I have no professional integrity, no professional character, and I'm incompetent as a professional. I just heard the mayor say everything I've been pleading for the last 5, 6 years. I think you owe apologies to yourselves. You owe apologies to me. You better understand that various tort claim notices and Civil Rights Act violation notices were filed regarding various press releases and social media postings that you as board members, as a fiduciary to the public trust, questions what you were understanding. You look at your minutes, you keep on saying that Bear Properties 2, as to the SID explored, was dismissed without prejudice. There's a consent order signed by that attorney over there. We're going through right now something called referendum charter study. One of the most influential people in my life was Judge Daniel J. Moore, who's a bankruptcy attorney who came from this town. And when I was a very young man, I had hair, I had better eyesight. He told every attorney, you sign a consent order, that's in a contract with the court. I'm warning you, when you go into closed executive sessions, I think a letter needs to be going down to the courts tomorrow. I will be submitting in that we should be standing still based on the statement made by the mayor. But you misrepresented to the court. You filed a motion that's predicated on the case being dismissed with prejudice. It was without prejudice, a consent order. All board members, because of the pleading, 2 pleadings have been filed, you own the pleadings. I urge you caution and prudence. I told you, I signed check, the front check for 25 years. I stopped a SID in Orange, but everyone says, I don't know what I'm doing, I howl at the moon. I never went in cases. But something happened today that someone blinked.
Town resident, Richie Sutter. I just came tonight to say good luck to you, Steve. Appreciate that. And also, I want to comment on the, I don't want to call them helpers, but helpers. I think we're in good hands right now for the next few weeks with these helpers. They spoke well and seemed very organized. But they love you, right?
Big Pal, business owner, want to start with, I hope everyone stopped by Girls Night Out. It's not just a girls event. We'd love to see some of the men come and hang out and see what a great event we're putting together. It would be nice to see the township committee and their support. So I just wanted to put that out there because we've been working very hard. Saddened to see Corinne leave. But no, Michelle is we're in very good hands with Michelle. She's very good. So I hope you all support her. And I would like to volunteer my time if Michelle needs any help, because she's gonna need help. This is not a one-person job. So I know I would be happy to help you in anything you need, Michelle. And I hope you support her and bring her into the interim executive director. Lastly, I wanna say I'm saddened to be here tonight to say goodbye to Steve, the executive director of Millburn-Short Hills. I cannot fully describe what a tremendous loss this is for our business community. Steve came into the role during the time when the business districts truly needed strong leadership, support, and direction. From day one, he worked incredibly hard to support the businesses in this town, create a meaningful initiatives, bring people together and advocate for our downtown in a way that made many of us feel heard and supported. As a business owner who has been in the downtown Millburn for 42 years, I know how important strong leadership is to the success and survival of a business district. Steve understood that, he cared deeply about the businesses, the merchants, and the future of this community. His departure reminds me of when we lost Tara Bradish, one of our first executive director, whose impact was also deeply felt. And once again, the loss will absolutely be felt through Millburn-Short Hills. My hope is that the Township Committee and the Explore Millburn Board move thoughtfully, collaboratively to find a strong replacement and continue building the kind of organization our businesses need and deserve. Right now, more than ever, the business community needs stability, support, communication, and leadership. We need a fully functioning organization with the staffing and the resources necessary to continue to help our town thrive. At the end of the day, our local businesses are the heartbeat of this community. They bring people here, they create energy, jobs, events, and connections. And without strong support system in place, the businesses are going to struggle. So I hope everyone involved can come together and forward and focus on what truly matters, supporting the business community and ensuring that Millburn-Short Hills continues to thrive. Thank you.
Is there anybody on Zoom?
No.
Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
No,
How could I miss you?
Yes,
you're.
I'm Stephen Weiner, former member of the Board of Explore, joint owner with my wife of Splurge Bakery in town on Main Street. Couldn't miss Steve's last meeting and it's both sad. I've prepared some notes here, but just off the cuff, I wish you the best of luck moving on and very sorry to see you go. I didn't know about Corinne, so I do not have any words for you, but best of luck too. That was a surprise to me. Let me just read this very quickly. So Steve was an outstanding leader of Explore, and I am personally very sorry to see him leave. As a former member of the board, it was always a pleasure working with you, with Steve, throughout his tenure from day one. I remember that his predecessor and nothing to compare, barely, it's fuzzy, I barely remember.
50 days.
But let's see, so your dedication obviously to our community, to Millburn and the businesses, evident every day. How much work you did, overtime, weekends, it did matter, making sure our programs were successful, businesses were supported. Two highlights that I remember, one of course was Main Street designation. It took a lot of work by you, a lot of members of the board and supporting, write-ups and reviews of documents, but he got us there and got our town designated. I believe that will be a great legacy. That's gonna pay benefits for many years. The second thing I remember is actually during the flooding, you walking the streets, it's not even dry yet, but many businesses were impacted, including Splurge, were impacted by flooding and damage to our basement, I know was filled. Steve was walking around making sure businesses could get what they needed. He arranged for a bunch of volunteers to come and help clean out our basement, for example. So hands-on, feet on pavement, helping the businesses and the membership. So thank you. And that's part of the reason I don't want to see you leave, but so tireless support, unwavering commitment, and I do wish you the very best, and I do hope that our paths will cross again. So thank you.
No.
Well, I have some board remarks, so if you'll indulge me.
Unclosed public session.
Oh, yes, let me close public session. Is there anybody else before I share my remarks? Okay, we will now close public session. Good evening, members of the board, business owners, residents, and interested parties.
Tonight, we bid farewell to Stephen Grillo, the executive director that put Millburn-Short Hills Explore on the map. Literally. How ironic that his first responsibility was to attend our fame event. May 2021, when COVID was everywhere and businesses, residents, and visitors welcomed an event to bring the community together. He arrived just in time. We needed a lifeline, and Steve was our captain. During Steve's tenure, we reduced our vacancy rate dramatically from 16 to less than 4. We educated businesses on a variety of programs to learn operating skills, financial resources, free website development, and got them over $500,000 in grants through NJEDA. We created a template for new businesses to navigate the approval process. We gave new businesses a voice and a leader to advocate. We drove community engagement through Main Street closure and Town Hall Plaza, offering free live music. We organized $420,000 in grant money for businesses negatively impacted by Hurricane Ida. We mentored interns in planning and economic development. We became a Main Street community. We raised over $50,000 in sponsorship revenue for innovative programming and events. I say we, but none of this would have happened without you, Steve Grillo. Thank you for your dedication, your business acumen, your commitment to Millburn-Short Hills. You will be missed, and we wish you continued success. Thank you.
May I say a few words?
Sorry. No.
Thank you. I was in. I've probably written this speech 100 times. So after 5 years as executive director, I've decided to move on to the next chapter of my career. Tonight's presentation from the mayor makes it clear that there are changes coming to this organization and to the township, and I think it's the right time for me to move on. But I'm moving on to be the executive director of a newly formed bid, and this opportunity would not have been possible without the success that I've achieved here in Millburn. And in turn, that success would not have been possible without the support of literally hundreds of people, and most especially this board of directors. Tonight's my opportunity to thank you and take a brief trip down memory lane. As Committeeman Stoller often says, to understand where you are, you have to understand where you began. So before Explore existed, there was an urgent need to support the local business community. Founding board members Jumana Culligan and Nadej Nickel organized small events during the pandemic, which evolved into the bid. And under the leadership of Mayor Jackie Lieberberg and then Deputy Mayor Richard Wasserman. In addition, the addition of Michael Parlavecchio, Tracy Katz-Levine, Stephen Weiner, and Andrew Morgan led to the formation of our first board of directors, and that board hired me back in May of 2021. As Jackie said, it was a time of great challenges in Millburn. The prior bid had been dissolved, commercial vacancy stood at 16%, the pandemic was still impacting normal life, and there was virtually no business development support in town. Launching a nonprofit under those conditions meant building essential systems while also delivering immediate results. During my first few weeks here, I developed a list of things I wanted to accomplish during my time. The first was to secure a 501c3 nonprofit designation. The second was to secure a Main Street designation and a Main Street America accreditation. To represent Explore on the board of downtown New Jersey, and then to win the Bear Properties 1 case. All of that was going well. And then on September 1st, 2021, Millburn was hit with Hurricane Ida. The storm was devastating, but it was also the defining moment for Explore. In partnership with the Township Committee, we distributed $420,000 in relief funds to 75 businesses. And I personally met with over 100 businesses in the wake of the storm to hear their concerns. We were on the map as an essential resource for businesses. Throughout the next 4 years, we piloted various new programs, revitalized Girls' Night Out, introduced the Winter Villages, launched the Art Alley, and expanded our digital presence. In the last 2 years alone, we fielded over 600 business assistance requests. We also welcomed new board members, Ben Stoller, Ashley Schultz, Alex Zoltzman, Alexa Clark, and this year Christine Best. And now I want to turn to the personal side of the work. Well, I've never lived in Millburn. I love Millburn. I've worked with some of the most incredible people I've ever encountered in my career, and I've experienced remarkable triumphs with this organization. More importantly, the town has embraced what is most important to me, my family. Year after year, my wife and children have attended events in Town Hall Plaza, and I thank you for welcoming them to this community. They're better for it. My 7-year-old daughter once told me she didn't know girls could be in charge of the town until she met Mayor Jackie and Mayor Annette in Town Hall Plaza. That's the kind of impact a community of neighbors, friends, and supporters can have. And now it comes to all the names. I personally want to thank so many people. I want to specifically recognize our Township Business Administrator, Alex McDonald, who is the unsung hero of the town. His dedication, vision, and knowledge is a treasure for this town, and without him, many of our achievements would never have come to fruition. Jesse Molman, Tim Hoffman, and Omar Buckingham have served as his able assistants, and I thank them for their hard work behind the scenes to make this town run. Thank you to Tom Slattery and Ryan Cooper, Christine Gaddy, Farrah Kassim, Jessica Cruz, Christina Sterneski, Jason Cohen, Donna Ruggiero, Eileen Davitt, Christine Bugle, Tom Doty, Ed Walker, John Walker, Ed Montero, and Socrates Barbosa. Yes, we work with every department in this town, and you have an incredible town. And of course, I have to thank my team, Corinne Mahoney and Michelle Lemieux, and those who came before them, Amanda Dean, Zach Minter, if anybody can remember, Marla Itzke. Maybe just me and Jackie.
Marla, we remember.
We've been here a long time, guys. I've received dozens of calls, texts, and emails from people thanking me for my work, which has helped remind me that despite the challenges we've encountered, we have persevered and made a real difference. Explorers helped hundreds of businesses and touched thousands of residents and visitors. And while I may have made a small handful of enemies along the way, I've made a hell of a lot of friends. Thank you all.
Anybody else, please?
So I don't have a formal statement, but I will have to thank Steve for being there for me, my business, in downtown Millburn, and during the hurricane, I when it first started. Months after that, it's deeply memorable and, deeply grateful for, your work and for all the businesses, not just mine. But for being there, for, organizing the fundraising and, just organizing so many things that needed to be organized during that time. And it was just very, very helpful, in person. We'll miss you, and very grateful for the work that you've done for the town where I live and where I raise my family. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Can we have a sushi date?
Yes, we do.
His favorite sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
What's in your
Oh, yeah.
account?
So Steve, I was gonna put some words together on a piece of paper, but I just couldn't put them, I don't need, I wanted to speak from the heart. There's not enough superlatives in the world to describe how you treated me when I was voted on to the township committee. The private meetings and the discussions on what to expect and how to prepare for that. You know, I've done a lot of businesses. I've 27 years in business on Wall Street, private equity, such. Municipal service is a different animal, it really is. And I appreciate all that when I came on. And I think that our collaboration and working together has just made this town so much stronger, and you will be missed. Green will be missed as well. And the new town that's getting you guys are certainly gonna get a treasure. So I look forward to coming up and hanging out, playing golf, all the good things, having some good dinners. But best of luck to you and your family, Corinne as well. Your little girl's so special. I remember picking her up at one of the events and just bouncing her on my arm, and such a great, her eyes just illuminate with such gleam. So that's your real treasure, your children, your wife, and great luck and great success in your new endeavor.
Sure, of course. Steve, I have been not here very long, but one of the things that I wanted to, I'm sure he highly confident individual, and I truly admire the level of dedication and the amount of time and your ability to go from a very high level strategic position and articulate, and your presentation skills are phenomenal. You're kind of like a jack of all trades, kind of fascinating, and
It's the
you
name
can
of the
go,
game in this
you can
job.
go down into the weeds, and you can get real dirty, and we all know that from what you've done during the hurricane. I don't think anybody could say that was an incredible accomplishment. And you know, and I think that you know, I'm probably the only person that will say this, but I still think that like it's an understaffed element. There's different arguments, but I mean, you did a lot of work and we're spread very thin, and you really pivoted and put all different hats on, and I really did love the level of professionalism on all the packages you did on a weekly basis, and I don't think people realized how much time that took. And then I also just, you know, Corinne, Michelle, I'll just tell you how fabulous you are another day. You're not leaving, but Corinne, you know, I didn't really get to meet you, but I think that you are a talented young marketer, and I can see that. And I know that you provided a lot of you know, insight and support on that, and I can see that in the videos, that it's coming from a youthful, fresh perspective that's very tightly put into social media, and you know, you will be missed, and that's it.
Well, now I have to give you guys the bad news, which is we still have to go into closed session. You don't want me to leave, is that?
Did anybody, I just wanted to ask, did anybody want to address the comments from the, I mean, I didn't know if that was done.
You don't.
I mean, just, from the audience.
Do we have to, I cannot attend the closed session, I have to run to another event, so I don't know if we're gonna have a forum or what needs to be done.
If he's here, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, because we have Jackie, Alex, and Ashley. So we're okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment about to the people that made comments? I just want to make a quick comment. And this is just something that I've observed townwide. I think that whenever we discuss any litigation, just go, this isn't a school moment, but for me, I get very uncomfortable seeing township residents publicly put on display for lawsuits, and I don't see the equivalence of this going on to current lawsuits that are very large with other people in this town. And so I think that this should always be discussed in a closed session, so people aren't publicly shamed that are actively suing the town. It's the township's business privately with those individuals. And that's an important thing to me, and it has nothing to do with any of my relationships with this person. So I hope that we can do that moving forward. Thank you.
So now we're gonna need a motion and a
Yes.
second to go into closed session.
May I have a motion to go into closed session? May I have a second? I'll second.
Yes, have a good one.
Yes.
Going on vacation.
So it's gonna be back, this is recorded.
Okay.
The public can re-enter. I just need a motion to do that.
May I have a motion to re-enter public session?
Yes.
Motion.
May I have a second?
Great.
Second. What did we decide? Thank you.
Okay, so now we have two items. One is the motion to adjourn, and then this is the procedural item. So I'm gonna read that, and then you're gonna ask for a motion, okay?
Yes.
Actually, give me the contract back so I can. This will be quick.
Okay.
All right, so Madam Chair, we're going to present a motion to approve hiring Cooper LLC to represent Explore Millburn-Short Hills in the Bear Properties 3 case. In addition to their current legal services for ordinary board functions, we received a letter of proposed litigation engagement on May 19th. It is included in the public packet. So all we need is a motion and a second to authorize this. Motion.
Yeah, may I have a motion to approve Bear, Cooper LLC's May 19th, letter of engagement?
Here.
May I have a second?
Second.
All right, so now Jackie Lieberberg,
Yes.
Alex Zoltzman,
Yes.
Ashley Schultz,
Yes.
motion carries. Now we need a motion to adjourn.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Let me a second.
Oh, second.
Out of 3.
Second.
Yeah,
You can do it.
Got it.
I said second.
Oh,
Yes.
did you? Okay. All in favor?
All in favor?
I.